Strength, Silence Screams Loud Strength, the podcast. This podcast is about protecting families and nurturing children, based on my book, The Little Voice That Roared. So this is for Safeguarding Clinic Through the Ark in Winchester. This episode is sacred and is for children who have seen too much, the ones who don't have the words yet. So why did I write this book? I wrote this book because I wanted the little child in me to have heard the voice of my son, to have been able to speak when there was too much violence around him. Not only for him, but for me too. Because protecting him was my job. But a child's love is beyond measure, and a child should always be protected, and a child should always have a voice, and we should learn to listen to them when they speak. Why is this important? It allows the child to grow up with confidence, to know that they can speak without being shut out, shut down, and they speak and know that they are loved. Because without love, you cannot be confident in life. And nurturing a child's development is extremely important. So how does a child grow up and feel empowered? A child grows up when they know that their voice matters, because without their voice, they have no confidence and they have nothing. And as an adult, where you are supposed to protect your child, it is also incumbent that we teach them how to verbalize themselves and how to show up with absolute confidence and to show up and be a good member of society. This is why the little voice that roared exists, is to teach the child within, or our children, to stand up and be able to speak for themselves. Why does it matter? It matters because what trauma looks like in a family when there is violence, a child becomes traumatized over and over again. Silence in the home does not build a confident child. It hinders a child's development. It hinders a child's progress at school. It hinders how a child can be socially equipped to have friends, to grow up in a loving environment. When you teach the child to speak for themselves, you are allowing them for their voice to be heard, their development to be at par with their peers at school, at the play scheme, for them to be able to go and play with others. Let's say if they like football, they can go and do football. If they like gymnastics or in their ballet, they can go and do what they like and show up as their best selves. A child's development is the best time for them to harness who they are going to be in the future. So if a child's speaking is being muted and not promoted through violence, the child is never going to be confident, are they? So we need to advocate and teach our children to advocate for themselves. And this book teaches a child to have emotional literacy, the tools to create a trauma-informed home and a classroom that is trauma-informed. It is absolute mandatory for a child to have safeguarding practices that work for them, because every child is different. So we need to help them and teach them and give them the tools to advocate for themselves. So how can we teach children to self-advocate? It's simple practices that help them to feel safe. This book, The Little Voice That Wrote, has drawings that can show how the child is feeling.